Greetings YouTube and welcome back to my sketchbook. Here we have another Infinity Arms design. Now this is an Infinity Arms design inspired by agricultural pruning tool. So we have a chainsaw here on a pole. Here is this whole thing can slide back and forth. This is how you grip it with your offhand to control the speed with your grip. You're squeezing that. Here is the power pack. Here is an on-edge view showing you what it looks like, and there's the switch here. Here's what the handle looks like, and there's a seam there because that's how it's bolted together. And then you have the blade itself. And there's the Infinity Arms symbol. Infinity Arms, always ready, always armed. Here we have a design that really kind of pushed what a sword is. A sword is about slashing. So I built a sword made of spinning discs. Now they don't actually spin in the sense of spinning. They could, I guess, if you wanted to have a science fiction version. Also, they could just be freewheeling. Now this particular is a science fiction version because there's a switch here, but so these all are spinning discs, but you could have ones that were not and were just sharpened discs, and that might be intriguing to see in action. But it was all about slashing and thinking, how can I achieve the slashing action other than a long sharp piece of metal? And this is what I came up with. Obviously it has no edge, and it's just for fun essentially. Now here we have a design inspired by a saw blade. It looks just like a saw blade. This is designed for like hanging it on something for storage, but this is all about just chucking this thing really hard and hoping it hurts someone. And I think I did a good job in getting all those teeth in there and not only looking good, but in nice even proportions, because that isn't the easiest thing to do in the world. Here we have another heavy two-handed sword type design, so it's a 50-50 split, no point, all edge. And again, playing with the idea of what is a sword. It is edge. So how can I get the edge to be a little bit different than the traditional design? So it kind of combines the ideas of a chopping as well as a slashing weapon. Here we have a spiked cudgel with a D-guard. This is the kind of thing I imagine that, you know, dystopian warriors or security forces or orcs or things like that would use. Here we have a great axe, and I almost got these proportions right. If I had brought this down about 30%, I think I would have had it into the realistic zone. But it's over the top on this particular thing, but it would be befitting an ogre or a minotaur. Here we have a polearm that I'm playing with angles here intentionally. And I still think it would be functional. You can definitely do a piercing damage with this. You could swing this to get some a slashing attack, and then you can use that effectively to hook your opponent's limbs or weapons or unseat them from a horse, things like that. Here we have kind of a similar theme here, all slashing with a piercing point in the back and a counterweight which is diamond shaped, and this is a battle staff. And battle staff is being defined as a two-ended weapon that has two dissimilar ends. Here we have a throwing star, which I was kind of going for a flower aesthetic, and I don't think I succeeded. Here we going with a dagger that has a heart in it. I'm not sure why I put a heart in it, but I think it definitely has a great vibe. I would really like to see that made. I think that would be cool. Here we have a bladed trident. So it does piercing, but it also has edges, and this is kind of reminds me of a Japanese yari. Here we have a hand axe with a lightning bolt theme. It was designed as an illustration of a magic item, and it was a lightning bolt themed, electrically themed weapon. And here's a hand axe which I think is completely usable. It looks like a hand axe. This is the kind of thing I can imagine a ranger carrying in the field, both as a weapon and as a tool. Here we have another toothed great club. Perfect for your barbarians or ogres out there. I think this would be incredibly intimidating, and there's a top-down view. I don't know why I felt that necessary, but I felt that was necessary at the time. Here we have another throwing steel, this one with 3 grips. So this shows you how you hold it before you then throw it at an opponent. Big, heavy, it would be like that big around, so it's designed to do damage, probably the same as a throwing axe, but it will probably have better range. Here we have another throwing steel, which I failed miserably at. This makes no sense, and in retrospect, it was kind of silly and wasted my time. Like I said, you don't always win. Here we have another combat cleaver, and this one has rings in the back for noise making, the whole scaring away evil spirits vibe. Here we have a combat pick, kind of on the dwarven Urgosh idea, as there's a weapon on this end and then a piercing weapon on that end. This is all about doing lots of damage to someone in armor or through heavy natural armor. Here we have another toothed club, but this one using steel instead of shark's teeth. Again, taking a traditional wooden toothed idea, or stone tool idea, and then turning it into a modern version. And I think this would be very dangerous. Here we have a leaf blade design that I in retrospect, it's too linear. It doesn't have what I'm looking for, and I drew it, and I wasn't happy with it either, because the next day I drew another one, and this one I was happy with. So this one looks like a leaf. It really does, and I quite like the fact that. One second, I think I got more sketch in this book, and I quite like the way how I succeeded with this. It looks like a cool elven weapon. And then lastly, for this particular binder, I take that leaf blade idea one step further, and I make a leaf blade sword that looks like an actual leaf. Again, perfect for druids or elven forces. I kind of really like the way this thing came off. I think it would be cool and, frankly, quite dangerous. The kind of thing that I could see in an animated film that would be nice. Maybe even something was produced in a non-metal version, maybe through some kind of a biomancy or something like that. I like this design, though. It came out nice. So that has been my 4th binder of weapons. There's one more to go, folks.